Wait for what exactly? Amara slammed both hands on the desk. Wait for my sister's body to turn up somewhere. Detective Morrison didn't even look up from her paperwork. Ma'am, adults have the right to leave. She didn't leave. Her phone's been dead for 21 days. Her bank account hasn't moved. She didn't take her clothes. Maybe she went back to Nigeria. Maybe she found a boyfriend. Morrison finally met her eyes. It happens. Something snapped in Amara's chest. You have resources when white women go missing. You have helicopters and search parties and press conferences. But my sister, she's invisible to you. The silence hit like a fist. Morrison stood. Come back when you have actual evidence. Evidence she vanished from her employer's house. The Holloways won't even talk to me. And you're telling me that's not evidence? The Holloways are respected members of this community. Mr. Holloway sits on 3 charity boards. And my sister cleaned their toilets. So she doesn't matter. I didn't say that. You didn't have to. Amara walked out knowing the truth. No one was coming to help. In America, some people disappeared and the world stopped. Others disappeared and no one even noticed they were gone. Before I go any further, I need you to do something. Subscribe to this channel. Comment what city you're watching from. Because this is happening in your city too. Right now. Women vanishing into places that exist right next to your normal life. I want to know how far this reaches. My name is Amara Okafor. This is how I found my sister. And how I learned that some people get to be human in this country and some of us are just the help. Her phone rang at 4:15 a.m. while she was getting ready for the nursing home shift. Unknown number. Hello, breathing. Heavy, deliberate. Then a man's voice, distorted. Stop looking for your sister. Amara's heart stopped. Who is this? This is your only warning. Where is she? Where's Blessing? The line went dead. She stood there, shaking, phone pressed to her ear, listening to silence. Someone was watching her. Someone knew she was searching. Which meant Blessing hadn't just left. Someone had taken her. At the nursing home, Mrs. Chen grabbed her arm the second she walked in. Amara, you look terrible. Did you sleep? Someone called me. Told me to stop looking for Blessing. Mrs. Chen's face went white. You need to be careful. Very careful. Why do you know something? I know women who disappear. Mrs. Chen glanced around, lowered her voice. My friend's daughter. She worked for a rich family in Bethesda. One day gone. Police said she probably went home to China. But her mother still gets calls from her phone number. No one speaks. Just breathing. When did this happen? 2 years ago. And before that, another woman. Haitian. She cleaned houses. Also disappeared. Amara felt cold. How many women? I don't know. Too many. But Amara, listen to me. These families, they have power. Money. Connections. If they're involved, the Holloways are involved. I know they are. Mrs. Chen's grip tightened. Then you need to stop. Or you'll disappear too. I can't stop. She's my sister. And if you're dead, how does that help her? Amara pulled away. I'm not stopping. She went to change Mr. Williams, her hands moving automatically while her mind raced. Other women. A pattern. The police knew. They had to know. And they weren't doing anything about it. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Check your car. Amara ran outside. Taped to her windshield a note. 4 words in block letters. Leave it alone. Someone was following her. Right now. Watching her. She spun around, scanning the parking lot. Empty. But they'd been here. Just now. While she was inside. She drove to her cleaning job with the note on her passenger seat, checking her mirrors every 30 seconds. No one was behind her. But that didn't mean no one was watching. Mrs. Patterson answered the door in $1,000 yoga pants. Oh, Amara, thank God. I need the house perfect by noon. I'll get it done. And Amara, Mrs. Patterson's voice dropped. I heard about your sister. The one who worked for the Holloways. Amara froze. How do you know about that? Elizabeth Holloway and I are in the same book club. She mentioned it last week. Such a shame when the help just leaves without notice. The help, like Blessing, was a vacuum cleaner that broke. She didn't leave. She disappeared. Mrs. Patterson's face flickered. Uncomfortable. Guilty. Well, Elizabeth said she probably found another family. Better pay maybe. Elizabeth is lying. Excuse me, my sister loved that job. Loved their daughter Sophia. She would never leave without telling me. Without taking her things. Something happened at that house and Elizabeth knows what. Mrs. Patterson stepped back. I think you should finish cleaning and leave. You're clearly upset. Did Elizabeth say anything else, anything at all? She said. Mrs. Patterson stopped herself. What did she say? She said it's not the first time. That domestic workers are unreliable. That she's gone through 6 nannies in 3 years. 6 nannies. 3 years. Amara's stomach turned. 6 women worked for her and all of them left, that's what she said. Did she mention their names, where they went? Amara, I really need you to start cleaning. Where did they go? I don't know. Elizabeth just said they were flaky. That immigrants make promises and break them. Mrs. Patterson's voice hardened. Now either you clean my house or I'm calling another service. Amara cleaned, scrubbed toilets and thought about 6 women. 6 women who worked for the Holloways and disappeared. Blessing was number 7. At the catering company that evening, Maria caught her arm. Girl, you look like death. I'm fine. You're not fine. Everyone's talking about your sister. About how you went crazy at the police station. I didn't go crazy. I told them the truth. Maria pulled her into the storage room. Listen, my cousin works security at a warehouse in Silver Spring. Holloway Logistics. You know that company? Amara's pulse jumped. David Holloway owns it. Yeah. And my cousin says weird stuff happens there. People coming and going at night. Women. Always women. Always foreign. He asked his supervisor about it once and got told to mind his business or find another job. What warehouse? What's the address? I don't know the exact address, but it's off Route 29. Big gray building. Logo on the side. Maria hesitated. Amara, whatever you're thinking, don't. These people are dangerous. Everyone keeps telling me that. Because it's true. You want to end up like your sister. I want to find my sister. Her phone rang. Unknown number. Again. Amara answered. A different voice this time. Older. Male. Miss Okafor, my name is Marcus Wellington. I help families looking for missing women. I heard you've been asking questions about your sister. Who told you that? I have people in the community. People who notice when women disappear. Can we meet tonight? How do I know you're not with the people who took her? You don't. But I've been doing this for 10 years. I've helped find 12 women. I've failed to find 34 more. Your sister's case fits a pattern I've seen before. What pattern? Not on the phone. Meet me at St. Michael's Church on Georgia Avenue. 9 p.m. I'll be in the basement. The line went dead. Maria stared at her. You're not actually going, are you? I have to. Amara, this could be a trap. Everything's a trap at this point. She finished her shift and drove home. Someone was following her. A gray sedan, 3 cars back, matching every turn. Her hands shook on the wheel. At a red light, she twisted around to look. Tinted windows. Couldn't see the driver. The light changed. Amara gunned. It took 3 quick turns, lost them in a residential area. Her heart hammered. They knew where she worked. Where she lived. What car she drove. At home she found another note taped to her door. Final warning. Amara ripped it down and went inside. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. She made tea she didn't drink. Checked her phone every 30 seconds. 8:45 p.m. Time to meet Marcus. St. Michael's basement smelled like coffee and old hymnals. A man sat alone at a folding table. Mid-50s, black, exhausted eyes that had seen too much. Miss Okafor. How did you know it was me? You look like someone who hasn't slept in 3 weeks. Sit down. She sat. Marcus pushed a worn notebook across the table. These are the names of women I know about. Women who vanished from the Maryland, D.C. area in the last decade. All of them immigrants. All of them domestic workers or service industry. The police did nothing. The families got nowhere. Amara opened it. Page after page of names. Dates. Last known locations. Her throat closed. How many? 63 that I know of. The real number is probably triple that. And no one cares. People care. The families care. But the system doesn't. These women are undocumented or on temporary visas. They're poor. They're black or brown. They clean houses for people who'd rather not know their names. So when they disappear, the world shrugs. Blessing was documented. She had a work visa. Doesn't matter. She's still invisible to the people who matter. Tell me about the Holloways. Amara told him everything. The job. The promises. The sudden silence. Elizabeth's coldness. Mrs. Patterson's mention of 6 nannies in 3 years. Marcus's jaw tightened. David Holloway. You know him, I know of him. Logistics company warehouses transportation. He's connected. Sits on boards. Donates to charities. The perfect cover. Marcus leaned forward. 3 other families have mentioned his name. 3 families searching for missing women who all worked in his orbit. Cleaning his offices, working in his warehouses, employed by his friends. So he's trafficking them. I don't have proof. Just patterns. Just whispers. But yes, I think so. I think there's a network. Wealthy families exploiting immigrant women. And when those women become problems, they disappear. Amara's phone buzzed. Text message. Unknown number. Just a photo. She opened it and the world tilted. Blessing. Unconscious. Lying on concrete. Wearing the silver bracelet their mother gave her before she died. Below the photo, leave it alone or you'll join her. Marcus grabbed the phone, zoomed in. That bracelet. You're sure it's hers? My mother gave it to her. She never takes it off. This is proof she's alive. Marcus took a screenshot, sent it to his own phone. This is also a threat. They're escalating. They know you've been asking questions and they're getting nervous. Good. They should be nervous. Amara, listen to me. These people have money. Power. They've made 63 women disappear without consequences. You're going up against something bigger than you understand. I don't care. You should. Because if you move wrong, you'll disappear too. And then no one's looking for Blessing. Amara stared at the photo. Her sister's face slack and vulnerable. Helpless. Then I won't move wrong. What do I do? We build a case so strong they can't bury it. We find other victims. Get testimony. Physical evidence. Then we go to the FBI, not local police. The FBI has a human trafficking task force. That takes time. Blessing might not have time. I know. But rushing gets you killed. Her phone rang. Unknown number. Amara's hands shook as she answered. A young woman's voice, terrified, whispering, please stop looking. They'll kill her if you don't stop. Who is this? Do you know where my sister is? I can't. I shouldn't have called, please. Just tell me if she's alive. Silence. Then barely audible for now. But if you keep making noise, she won't be. They're watching you. They know everything. Who's they? Give me names. An address. Anything. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The line went dead. Marcus looked at her. That was someone on the inside. Someone who knows where Blessing is. Someone too scared to help. Can you blame her? She's probably in the same situation. Amara stood. The warehouse. Maria said her cousin works security at a Holloway warehouse on Route 29. We should check it. We're not checking anything. I'm going to make some calls. You're going to go home and stay safe. I'm not going home. Amara, my sister is alive right now. For now. That means every second I waste she's closer to being dead. So no, I'm not going home. I'm going to that warehouse. That's breaking and entering. That's how you end up in jail. Or worse. Then I'll be careful. She walked out before Marcus could stop her. Outside, the cold hit her face. She checked her phone. Another text. Same unknown number. Another photo. Same image of Blessing. But zoomed out. And now Amara could see something she'd missed before. A logo on the wall behind her sister. Faded but visible. Holloway Logistics. Her hands shook so hard she almost dropped the phone. She knew where Blessing was. She got in her car, pulled up Route 29 on her GPS and started driving. Behind her, headlights flared. The gray sedan from earlier. Following again. Amara's foot hit the gas. If they wanted to follow her, fine. Let them watch her find her sister. Let them try to stop her. 3 weeks of police indifference. 3 weeks of dead ends and threats. 3 weeks of being told her sister didn't matter. That ended tonight. The warehouse appeared in her headlights. Gray. Massive. Logo on the side. Holloway Logistics. Amara pulled into the lot and cut the engine. The gray sedan drove past, slowed, then kept going. Watching but not stopping. Not yet. She sat there staring at the building. Chain link fence. Security cameras. Locked doors. This wasn't a place you just walked into. Her phone buzzed. Text from Marcus, don't do anything stupid. Too late for that. Another text. Unknown number, go home Amara. Last chance. She looked at the warehouse. Somewhere inside, Blessing was alive. scared, waiting for someone to care enough to find her. Amara got out of her car and walked toward the fence. The night swallowed her whole. The fence was 12 feet high, chain link topped with barbed wire. Amara grabbed it with both hands, testing. It rattled but held. She looked back at the parking lot. Empty. The gray sedan was gone, but that didn't mean she was alone. Her phone rang. Marcus. Where are you? The warehouse. Jesus Christ, Amara, I told you I saw the logo. In the photo they sent. Blessings in here. I know she is. Then we call the FBI. We don't break in like some action movie. The FBI takes days. Weeks. She doesn't have that kind of time. And if you get arrested, if you get killed, then what? Amara ended the call. She found a section where the fence sagged, climbed, ignored the barbed wire cutting her palm. Dropped to the other side. Her hand bled. She wiped it on her jeans and kept moving. The building had cameras, but most pointed at the main entrance. She stayed in shadows, worked her way around back. Found a service door. Locked. She tried another. Also locked. A voice behind her looking for something. Amara spun. A woman stood there, mid-30s, Asian, wearing a cleaning uniform. She held a mop like a weapon. I'm looking for my sister. You're the one asking questions. The Okafor woman. The cleaner's voice shook. You need to leave. Right now. Not without my sister. She's not here anymore. They moved her this morning. Amara's heart stopped. How do you know that? Because I clean this place. I see things. Things I'm not supposed to see. The woman glanced at the cameras. Come on. We can't talk here. She led Amara to a loading dock out of camera view. My name is Chen Wei. Mrs. Chen at the nursing home is my aunt. She told me about you. Your aunt said she had a friend whose daughter disappeared. That was me. My daughter Lily. She worked as a nanny for a family in Chevy Chase. 3 years ago she vanished. The police said she probably went back to China. But Lily would never leave her son. My grandson. He was only 2 years old. Did you ever find her? Chen Wei's eyes filled. 2 years later a body turned up in Rock Creek Park. Dental records matched. She'd been dead for months. Amara couldn't breathe. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Be smart. These people, they don't just make women disappear. They make us die. And no one investigates because we don't matter. Chen Wei pulled out her phone, showed photos. I took these last week. I shouldn't have, but I did. The photos showed the warehouse basement. Women sitting on mattresses. Different faces, different ages. All of them looked terrified. How many? 5 when I took these. But it changes. They bring women in, move them out. I think they're trafficking them. Using the warehouse as a holding place before shipping them somewhere else. Where's my sister? If she's not here, where did they take her? I don't know. But I heard the security guard talking. Said Mr. Holloway was moving merchandise to the Potomac house. That's what he called them. Merchandise. Amara wanted to vomit. The Potomac house. Where the Holloways live. Number. A different house. They own multiple properties. I don't know the address. Headlights swept across the lot. Chen Wei grabbed Amara's arm. Security patrol. You need to go. Now. Come with me. Testify. Tell the police what you know. I can't. I'm undocumented. If I talk to police, they'll deport me. My grandson needs me. I'm all he has left. But these women I know. I know. But I can't save them if I'm in China. Chen Wei pushed her toward the fence. There's a hole behind the dumpster. Go. Before they see you. Amara ran. Found the hole, squeezed through, tore her jacket. Behind her voices shouted. Flashlights bobbing. She made it to her car, started the engine, tires squealing as she pulled out. In her rearview mirror 2 security guards stood at the gate talking into radios. They'd seen her car. Seen her plates. She was out of time. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. You just made the worst mistake of your life. A man's voice, cold and controlled. Not distorted this time. Real. We tried to warn you nicely. Where's my sister? Somewhere you'll never find her. And after tonight you'll be too busy worrying about yourself to keep looking. I'm not stopping. Yes you are. Because tomorrow morning Immigration and Customs Enforcement is getting an anonymous tip about Amara Okafor, a legal immigrant who overstayed her visa. They're going to raid your apartment, your jobs, everywhere you've ever been. And when they're done you'll be on a plane back to Nigeria. Her visa was valid. She was legal. But that didn't matter. ICE raids first asked questions later. They could detain her for weeks, months. By the time she proved her status, Blessing would be gone forever. You can't do this. I already did. The call was made an hour ago. ICE moves fast when they get tips about dangerous illegals. He laughed. Have a nice flight home, Miss Okafor. The line went dead. Amara pulled over, shaking too hard to drive. They were going to deport her. Take away her jobs, her home, her chance of finding Blessing. She'd be stuck in Nigeria while her sister died in some basement in Maryland. Her phone rang again. Marcus. I just got a call from a contact at ICE. There's a raid order out on you. They're hitting your apartment at 6 a.m. I know. They just told me. Then you can't go home. You can't go to work. You need to disappear until we figure this out. I can't disappear. I need to find Blessing. You can't find her from a detention center. Listen to me. I have a place you can stay. A safe house. Come there now. Where he gave her an address in Silver Spring. Amara drove there on autopilot, checking her mirrors every 10 seconds. No one followed her. This time. The safe house was a 2-bedroom apartment above a restaurant. Marcus opened the door, pulled her inside quickly. Anyone see you come up? I don't think so. Good. You're staying here until the ICE thing blows over. How does it blow over? They have my name, my address. I have a lawyer. She's good. She'll file an emergency motion, prove your visa status, get the raid cancelled. But it takes 24 hours minimum. I don't have 24 hours. You don't have a choice. Marcus pointed to the couch. Sit. You're bleeding. She'd forgotten about her hand. The barbed wire cut went deep. Marcus got a first aid kit, cleaned it, wrapped it. His hands were steady. You want to tell me why you broke into a warehouse after I specifically told you not to? I saw Blessing's location in a photo they sent. Or I thought I did. And was she their number? They moved her this morning. To somewhere called the Potomac House. Amara showed him Chen Wei's photos. These women were there. Being held. Chen Wei said Holloway calls them merchandise. Marcus stared at the photos. His jaw worked. Chen Wei is the cleaner, the one whose daughter died. You know her? I know of her. She wouldn't talk to me when I investigated her daughter's case. Too scared. He zoomed in on the faces. These women. I recognize 2 of them. Maria Santos and Adaze Nwosu. Their families reported them missing 8 months ago. Can we get them out? Go to the FBI now. With what evidence? Photos that could be from anywhere. Chen Wei won't testify. You broke into private property. Any half-decent lawyer will tear this apart. Amara wanted to scream. So we just leave them their number. We build a real case. Find women who will testify. Get concrete evidence of the trafficking network. Then we move. Marcus sat back. I've been tracking Holloway for 3 years. He's careful. Paranoid. He covers his tracks. But he's getting sloppy. Threatening you, sending photos, moving women around quickly. That means he's scared. When people are scared, they make mistakes. What kind of mistakes? The kind that leave trails. I have a contact at a courier company. Holloway uses them to transport documents between his properties. She's been copying manifests for me. Shipment logs, delivery schedules. Most of it's boring business stuff. But sometimes he pulled out a file folder. Sometimes there are anomalies. The folder contained shipping manifests from Holloway Logistics. Most were standard office supplies, equipment inventory. But some had strange entries. Special cargo delivery to residential addresses. No details. Just dates and locations. 3 deliveries in the past month to 14 Oak Hill Road, Potomac. That's not Holloway's house. It's a property owned by a shell company. Took me weeks to trace it back to him. That's where they are. That's the Potomac house Chen Wei mentioned. Maybe. Or maybe it's something else. We don't know. Amara stood. Then let's go find out. It's 2 a.m. We're not doing anything tonight. My sister is there. Right now. Every second we wait is a second you're alive and free to keep searching. Rush in tonight and you'll get arrested or killed. Neither helps Blessing. Marcus grabbed her shoulders. I know this is hard. I know you want to kick down doors and save her. But this isn't a movie. This is real. And real means being smart. Someone knocked on the door. 3 sharp raps. Marcus and Amara froze. He put a finger to his lips, moved to the door silently. Who is it? It's Elizabeth Holloway. I need to talk to Amara Okafor. Amara's heart stopped. Marcus looked at her questioning. She nodded. He opened the door. Elizabeth stood there in a designer coat and yesterday's makeup. She'd been crying. Her hands shook. Please, I need to talk to her. How did you find this place? I followed you from the warehouse. I've been sitting in my car for an hour trying to decide whether to come up. Marcus stepped aside. Elizabeth walked in, saw Amara, and something in her face cracked. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry for what? For lying. For all of it. For what my husband is doing. Elizabeth collapsed onto a chair. I didn't know at first. I swear I didn't know. He told me the nannies quit. That they found better jobs. I believed him. When did you stop believing him? 6 months ago. I found texts on his phone. Talking about moving girls. About buyers. About keeping them quiet. I confronted him. Elizabeth's voice broke. He said if I told anyone he'd make sure I lost custody of Sophia. He has lawyers, judges, people who owe him favors. He said I'd never see my daughter again. So you stayed quiet while women disappeared. I know how that sounds. I'm a coward. I chose my daughter over doing the right thing. Elizabeth looked up, tears streaming. But blessing. When she pushed him away that night, when she threatened to call the police, I thought maybe he'd just fire her. Let her go. I didn't think she couldn't finish. What happened that night? David went to her room. She'd been working for us for almost 2 years. He thought she was safe. Compliant. But she fought back. Screamed. I heard it. I pretended I didn't. Elizabeth covered her face. The next morning she was gone. David said he drove her to the bus station. Gave her money to leave town. I wanted to believe him. But you didn't. No. I found her phone in David's office. Smashed. And I knew he'd done something terrible. Marcus leaned forward. Do you know where he took her? The Potomac house. The one he bought through a shell company. He thinks I don't know about it, but I do. I've known for months. What happens at that house? Elizabeth's voice dropped to a whisper. He keeps women there. Holds them. Then he sells them to other men. Rich men. Men who want domestic workers who can't run, can't report, can't exist outside the houses they're trapped in. She looked at Amara. Your sister is there now. But not for long. Tomorrow night there's a party. Wealthy clients. They're auctioning women. The room tilted. Amara grabbed the table to steady herself. Auctioning. Like slaves. Yes. Exactly like that. Elizabeth pulled out her phone, showed photos. I took these yesterday. I broke into David's office safe. These are the women going to auction tomorrow. The photos showed profiles. Names, ages, countries of origin. Blessing's face stared out from the screen. Below her photo, Nigerian. Age 28. Domestic training. $15 0 starting bid. Amara couldn't breathe. They were selling her sister. Tomorrow night. Less than 24 hours. Where is this house exactly? 14 Oak Hill Road. But it's guarded. Cameras everywhere. David has security. And the police won't help. Half of them are on his payroll. Marcus stood. We're not going to the police. We're going to the FBI. The FBI can't move that fast. The auction is tomorrow night. Then we'll stop it ourselves. How? Elizabeth's voice was nearly hysterical. You're one man. She's being hunted by ICE. And I'm a coward who can barely function. How are we supposed to stop this? Amara's phone rang. She looked at the screen. Unknown number. Again. She answered on speaker. Miss Okafor, a woman's voice, young, terrified. My name is Maria Santos. I'm at the Potomac house. I heard your sister talking about you. She said you were looking for her. Is she there? Can I talk to her number? They keep us separate. But I wanted you to know. Her voice broke. Tomorrow night they're selling us. 5 of us. Your sister, me, 3 others. If you don't get us out before then we're gone forever. How are you calling me? I stole a guard's phone. I only have a few seconds before voices in the background. Shouting. They're coming. Please. Please help us. The line went dead. Amara looked at Marcus. We have until tomorrow night. That's not enough time to then we make it enough. She turned to Elizabeth. You know the house layout? Yes. I've been there twice. Security schedule 1, I think so. David mentioned shift changes. Good. Draw me a map. Everything. Every door, every camera, every guard position. Amara felt something shift inside her. Something hard and sharp and unbreakable. They think I'm helpless. They think threatening me with ICE, with deportation, with death will make me stop. They're wrong. Marcus started to argue, saw her face, stopped. You're really doing this. We're all doing this. All of us. She looked at Elizabeth. You want to stop being a coward, here's your chance. Elizabeth nodded, wiping her face. What do you need me to do? Get me inside that house. Tomorrow night. Before the auction starts. I can't just walk in. David will know something's wrong. Then we make him think everything's right. Call him. Tell him you want to reconcile. That you're tired of fighting. That you want to come to the house and talk. Amara's voice was cold. Men like your husband, they always think women will come back. Use that. Elizabeth pulled out her phone with shaking hands. Dialed. David answered on the second ring. Elizabeth, it's 2 a.m. I know. I couldn't sleep. I've been thinking about what you said. About us. About protecting our family. Her voice was steady, now convincing. I want to talk. Face to face. Can I come to Oak Hill tomorrow evening? Tomorrow is busy. I have people coming. I know. That's why I want to talk before. Please, David. I want to fix this. Silence. Then come at 5. We'll talk before my meeting. Thank you. I love you. I love you too. She hung up. Looked at Amara. 5 p.m. I can get you in through the service entrance while I distract him. What happens when he realizes what you've done? I lose everything. My husband, my home, maybe my daughter. Elizabeth's hands stopped shaking. But at least I'll be able to look at myself in the mirror. Marcus pulled up building plans on his laptop. Oak Hill Road, that property. It's 6,000 square feet. Basement, main floor, second floor. If they're holding women, my bet is the basement. How many guards? Usually 2. But with an auction, probably more. Maybe 4 or 5. Weapons, definitely. These people don't take chances. Amara looked at the building plans, at Elizabeth's tear-stained face, at Marcus's worried expression. This was insane. Impossible. They were going up against armed guards, a trafficking network, and a man with enough money and power to make anyone disappear. But Blessing was in that house. Alive. Waiting. And Amara had promised their mother the day before she died that she'd protect her baby sister. That she'd keep her safe no matter what. She'd failed once. She wouldn't fail again. We go in tomorrow at 5, she said. We get the women out. We get evidence. And we burn this whole thing down. Nobody argued. Outside, dawn was breaking over Silver Spring. In 18 hours everything would change. Amara's phone buzzed one more time. A text from the number Maria Santos had called from. Just 2 words, thank you. Then another message appeared. Different number. Unknown. A photo. Blessing awake this time, staring at the camera. Someone had beaten her. Her lip was split, eye swollen. But she was alive. She was looking right at the camera like she knew Amara would see it. Below the photo, 5 p.m. tomorrow. Potomac House. Come alone or she dies screaming. It was a trap. Obviously. They wanted Amara there. Wanted to silence her permanently. She showed Marcus and Elizabeth. Marcus swore. They know we're planning something. Of course they do. They've been watching me this whole time. Amara saved the photo. Doesn't matter. I'm still going. It's suicide. It's the only choice I have left. Elizabeth stood. I should go. If David realizes I'm not home, he'll get suspicious. Be careful. If he suspects anything, I know. Elizabeth headed for the door, paused. Miss Okafor, your sister is lucky. To have someone who loves her this much. Someone willing to risk everything. I'm not doing anything she wouldn't do for me. After Elizabeth left, Marcus made coffee. Neither of them would drink. You should rest. You haven't slept in days. Can't sleep. Try anyway. You need to be sharp tomorrow. Amara lay on the couch, closed her eyes, saw Blessing's beaten face behind her eyelids. Saw the women in Chen Wei's photos. Saw the manifests listing human beings as merchandise. Sleep didn't come. At 8 a.m. Marcus's phone rang. He answered, listened, went pale. That was my lawyer. The ICE raid happened. They hit your apartment an hour ago. Tore the place apart. When they didn't find you, they issued a warrant. For what? Everything they could think of. Visa fraud, evading authorities, obstruction. It's all garbage, but it doesn't matter. There's a warrant out. If any cop sees you, you're done. Then I'll stay out of sight until tonight. Amara, you can't do this. You're a fugitive now. If you get caught at that house, I won't get caught. You don't know that. You're right. I don't. She sat up, looked at him. But I know my sister is in that house. I know she's being sold tonight. And I know I'm the only person who's going to do anything about it. Marcus stared at her for a long moment. Then nodded. Okay. Then we do this right. I'm calling in every favor I have. Getting backup. Real backup. From who? People like me. People who've lost someone to these networks. People who've been waiting for a chance to fight back. He started making calls. Amara watched the clock. 11 a.m. 12. 1. At 3:30 Marcus's phone rang. He listened, his face darkening. Hung up. Elizabeth just called. David knows. Somehow he knows we're coming. He's doubling security, moving the auction time up. It starts at 6 now, not 8. How did he find out? I don't know. Maybe Elizabeth slipped. Maybe someone talked. But we're compromised. The whole plan was falling apart before it started. They had 2 hours instead of 5. Elizabeth might be in danger. Blessing definitely was. Amara grabbed her jacket. Then we go now. We don't wait. That's even more suicide. I don't care anymore, Marcus. I'm done waiting. I'm done being careful. My sister is in that house and I'm getting her out. You coming or not? He looked at her, saw she meant it, grabbed his keys. God help us both. They drove to Potomac in silence. Amara's phone kept buzzing. Text messages from unknown numbers. All of them threats. All of them promises of what would happen if she didn't turn around. She turned the phone off. At 4:45 they pulled onto Oak Hill Road. The house sat at the end of a long driveway. Massive. Modern. The kind of wealth that made you invisible. 2 cars were already parked outside. Men in suits getting out, laughing, checking their watches. Buyers. Coming early for the auction. Marcus grabbed her arm. Last chance to call this off. I'm going in. Then I'm coming with you. You don't have to. Yes, I do. For Lily. For all the women I couldn't save. He checked his phone. I have 3 other families meeting us here. They're 10 minutes out. We wait for them. We don't have 10 minutes. A scream came from inside the house. High, terrified, cut off suddenly. Amara was out of the car and running before Marcus could stop her. Marcus shouted behind her, but Amara was already at the front door. She grabbed the handle. Locked. She pounded with both fists. Open this door, I know you're in there. The door swung open. A man in a black suit blocked the entrance. Security. Ma'am, this is private property. My sister's in there. Blessing Okafor. I'm not leaving without her. I don't know what you're talking about. Then why are you blocking the door behind him? Voices. A woman crying. Someone telling her to shut up. The security guard's hand moved to his waist. A gun. Amara didn't think. She kicked him as hard as she could, right in the knee. He went down swearing. She pushed past him into the house. Blessing, where are you? Another guard appeared from a side room. Get her out of here. Marcus burst through the door behind her. FBI, everyone freeze. The guard hesitated. Marcus wasn't FBI. They both knew it. But the hesitation was enough. Amara ran deeper into the house, following the sound of crying. Through a kitchen, down a hallway. A door at the end. She grabbed the handle. Locked. Blessing, can you hear me? Amara. Blessing's voice. Muffled. Below. Amara, is that you? I'm coming right now. Footsteps behind her. Heavy. Fast. Amara spun. The first guard limping but furious. He grabbed her arm, slammed her against the wall. You're done. Let go of me. He twisted her arm behind her back. Pain shot through her shoulder. Then Marcus was there, pulling the guard off. The 2 men crashing into the hallway wall. Something broke. Glass. Shouting. Amara found a door to the basement. Locked. She kicked it. Once, twice. Her foot went through the cheap wood. She reached through, found the deadbolt, unlocked it from the inside. The stairs led down into darkness. She took them 3 at a time. At the bottom, a hallway. Doors on both sides. She tried the first one. Empty. Second one. A woman huddled in the corner. Not Blessing. The woman screamed. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm looking for Blessing Okafor. Next door. Hurry. They're coming to move us. Amara tried the next door. Also locked. Blessing, I'm here. Amara, I'm here. She threw her shoulder against the door. Once. Twice. It gave. The room was small, dark. And there was Blessing chained to a pipe, face battered, wearing clothes that weren't hers. Oh God, Blessing. Amara ran to her, grabbed the chains. How'd I get these off? There's a key. The guard has it. Footsteps on the stairs. Multiple people. Amara positioned herself between Blessing and the door. David Holloway walked in. He looked exactly like his photos. Expensive suit, perfect hair, calm expression. Behind him 3 men. 2 security guards and someone else. Someone Amara recognized. Detective Morrison. Amara's stomach dropped. You're with them? Morrison didn't answer. Her face was stone. David smiled. Miss Okafor. So persistent. I admire that in a way. But also incredibly stupid. He looked at Blessing. Your sister here, she learned what happens when women like you refuse to cooperate. Didn't you? Blessing spat at him. David's smile never wavered. Still has fight. Good. The buyers like that. He turned to Amara. You've caused me a great deal of trouble. Asking questions. Breaking into my properties. Turning my wife against me. Elizabeth's helping you. Elizabeth is in the other room, sedated. She called me all right. Warned me you were coming. But not for the reasons you think. She wanted me to know so I could prepare. She's terrified of losing our daughter. Terrified I'll prove she's an unfit mother. So she does what I tell her. Amara felt sick. The whole thing was a setup. Elizabeth never intended to help. She'd led them right into a trap. Detective Morrison, arrest this woman. Breaking and entering. Assault. Resisting arrest. That should hold her until we can arrange her deportation. Morrison pulled out handcuffs. Started walking toward Amara. You're really going to do this? Help him traffic women? Morrison's jaw tightened. I'm doing my job. Your job is to arrest him. He's kidnapped 5 women. He's holding them prisoner. He's selling them tonight. I don't see any evidence of that. I see a disturbed woman who broke into a private home and assaulted security. Morrison reached for Amara's wrist. Amara jerked back. Don't touch me. Make this easy. Easy. My sister is chained to a pipe and you're arresting me. Your sister is trespassing just like you are. Something snapped in Amara. She lunged at David. Got 3 steps before a guard grabbed her, threw her down. Her head hit concrete. Stars exploded. Through the ringing in her ears she heard Blessing screaming. David crouched beside her. I'm going to explain something to you. Something you clearly don't understand. Women like you, women like your sister, you don't exist in this country. You're shadows. You clean our houses, raise our children, do the work no one else wants to do. And when you're used up, when you stop being useful, you disappear. No one investigates. No one cares. Because you were never really here. People care. Marcus cares. The families of all the women you've taken, they care. Marcus Wellington, the man upstairs, getting arrested right now by 2 more of my officers. He can't help you. No one can. Amara's vision blurred. Marcus was arrested. Elizabeth was sedated. Morrison was corrupt. They'd lost before they started. David stood. Take Miss Okafor to the other room. Chain her with the merchandise. She can be a late addition to tonight's auction. You can't sell me. I have papers. I'm documented. Papers can be lost. Documents can be burned. By tomorrow morning Amara Okafor never existed. Just like your sister. He walked out. The guards dragged Amara to another room. 5 women sat on the floor, all chained. Maria Santos. Adaze. 3 others she didn't recognize. They threw Amara down, chained her ankle to a bolt in the floor. Morrison stood in the doorway watching. I'm sorry. You're sorry. Amara wanted to kill her. You're part of this. You're as guilty as he is. You don't understand. Then explain it to me. Morrison glanced back at the hallway. Lowered her voice. I'm not arresting you. I'm getting you away from David before he kills you. Amara stopped. What? Shut up and listen. I've been investigating Holloway for 6 months. Undercover. The FBI knows. They're outside right now. But we need him to actually start the auction. Need the buyers in place. Need evidence that will stick. So you're just letting him sell us number. The auction gets interrupted. Before any money changes hands. But it has to look real. He has to believe it's happening. Morrison checked the hallway again. Marcus isn't really arrested. He's coordinating with the FBI. Those 2 officers are federal agents. Everything happening right now is controlled. Blessing doesn't know that. These women don't know that. We're terrified. I know. I'm sorry. But if we move too soon, Holloway walks. His lawyers bury everything. We need him caught in the act. Amara wanted to believe her. Wanted to trust that this nightmare was actually a plan. But she'd been lied to too many times. How'd I know you're not lying right now? Morrison pulled out her phone. Showed a text from FBI agent Sarah Collins. Auction starts in 20 minutes. Be ready to move. You did good getting them all in one place. Amara read it twice. This is real. The FBI is really here. They're surrounding the house right now. The buyers coming tonight, half of them are undercover agents. The other half are being arrested as they arrive. Morrison unchained Amara's ankle. I need you to trust me. Stay in this room. When the auction starts, things are going to happen fast. What about my sister? She's part of it. I can't unchain her without blowing my cover. But the second the FBI moves, she's free. You all are. Morrison left. Amara sat there shaking. The other women stared at her. Maria spoke first. Was that true? Is the FBI really coming? I think so. I hope so. And if it's not, if she's lying, then we fight. All of us. Together. A daze rattled her chain. Fight how we're chained. Outnumbered. They have guns. They also think we're helpless. That we'll just accept being sold like property. Amara looked at each woman. But we're not helpless. We're angry. And angry women are dangerous. One of the other women, young, maybe 20, started crying. I can't fight. I just want to go home. Where's home? Honduras. I came here for work. They promised me papers. A real job. Then they took my passport and locked me in here. What's your name? Rosa. Rosa, you're going home. All of us are. But first we need to survive the next hour. Amara tested her chain. Loose. Morrison had deliberately not secured it. If Morrison's telling the truth, the FBI moves when the auction starts. If she's lying, we move when the buyers get distracted. Either way, we're getting out. Footsteps above them. Multiple people. Voices. Laughter. The buyers were arriving. One of the guards opened the door. 5 minutes. Make yourselves presentable. He threw a bag of makeup at them and left. Maria picked it up. They want us to look pretty for them. Don't. Amara pushed the bag away. Let them see what they've done to us. Let them see our bruises and our fear and our anger. Make them look at what they're buying. The door opened again. David walked in with Elizabeth. She looked drugged. Compliant. Nothing like the woman who'd cried in Marcus's safe house. Elizabeth convinced me to sell you together, David said. Sisters. That's worth more to certain buyers. They like breaking bonds. Destroying families. It adds value. You're sick. I'm a businessman. There's a demand. I supply it. Simple economics. He grabbed Elizabeth's arm. Tell them, darling. Tell them how you helped recruit these women. How you vetted them. Made sure they had no family who'd look for them. Elizabeth wouldn't meet their eyes. She's good at it, David continued. Playing the kind employer. Gaining trust. Then when they're comfortable, when they think they're safe, she sets the trap. Blessing trusted her. Didn't you? Thought you were going to get your green card. Blessing's voice was rough. I trusted both of you. I loved your daughter. Sophia loved you too. Cried for days when you left. We had to tell her you went back to Nigeria. Children are so easy to lie to. Amara lunged at him. The chain caught her ankle, sent her sprawling. David laughed. Save that energy for the buyers. They'll enjoy it. He left. Elizabeth stood there for a moment longer. Then whispered so quietly Amara almost missed it, I'm sorry. For everything. Especially for this. She dropped something small and metallic on the floor. A key. Then she was gone. Amara grabbed it. The key fit her chain. She unlocked herself, then moved to the others. Quickly. Before anyone comes back. She freed all 5 women just as voices grew louder upstairs. The auction was starting. What do we do now? Rosa asked. We wait. If Morrison was telling the truth, the FBI moves any second. If not, we run when we get a chance. They sat in silence listening. David's voice echoed through the house. Gentlemen, welcome. Tonight's merchandise is exceptional. Young, trainable, completely undocumented. Perfect for your needs. Applause. These men were applauding. Let's start with lot number 1. Maria Santos, age 32, from Colombia. Domestic experience, no family in the U.S. Starting bid 15,000. 17. 20. 25,000. Maria grabbed Amara's hand. Squeezed so hard it hurt. Sold. Congratulations, Mr. Chen. She'll be delivered tomorrow morning. Amara's stomach turned. This was really happening. The FBI should have moved by now. Unless Morrison lied. Unless this was all real. Lot number 2. Adaze Nwosu, age 36, from Nigeria. The bidding started again. Amara couldn't listen. She looked at the door. The single door. Their only way out. 2 guards stood outside. Armed. Lot number 5. Blessing Okafor, age 28. Also Nigerian. And tonight a special offer. Her sister Amara is included. 2 for the price of 1. Both strong, both young enough to work for decades. Starting bid 30,000 for the pair. 35. 40. 50,000. Amara stood. We're not waiting. What? Maria hissed. The FBI isn't coming. Morrison lied. Or something went wrong. But I'm not sitting here while they sell us. She grabbed the makeup bag, dumped it. Found a small mirror. Broke it. Grabbed the sharpest shard. When they come to get us we fight. Aim for eyes, throats. Whatever you can reach. We'll die, Rosa whispered. Maybe. Or maybe we live. But I'd rather die fighting than be sold like furniture. The other women looked at each other. Then Adaze stood. I'm with you. Maria stood. Me too. One by one they all stood. Footsteps on the stairs. Multiple people. The door opened. David, 2 guards and a man in an expensive suit. The buyer. Here they are. Both sisters. As promised. The buyer walked toward Blessing. Amara stepped in front of her. Don't touch her. The buyer smiled. She's got spirit. I like that. He reached for Amara. She drove the mirror shard into his hand. He screamed. The guards rushed forward. And then everything exploded. The windows blew in. Glass everywhere. Men in tactical gear pouring through. Shouting. FBI, get down now. David ran for the door. Agent Collins tackled him. Morrison appeared, gun drawn, pointing at the guards. Drop your weapons now. The guards hit the floor. The buyer, bleeding and screaming, got dragged away in handcuffs. More agents flooded the basement. Found the women. Started cutting chains, calling for medics. Amara didn't move. Couldn't process it. It was over. Actually over. Morrison approached. Told you to trust me. You cut it close. Had to wait until he actually sold someone. Otherwise his lawyers would claim it was all a misunderstanding. A party that got out of hand. Now we have him on tape auctioning human beings. He's done. Amara pushed past her. Ran to Blessing's room. An agent was cutting her chains. Blessing looked up, saw Amara, and burst into tears. They held each other, both sobbing, neither able to speak. Marcus appeared in the doorway. You're okay. Thank God you're okay. You knew this whole time. Morrison contacted me 3 months ago. Asked me to help build the case. We needed to get all the players in one place. Buyers, sellers, the women being trafficked. Tonight was it. He looked exhausted. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you. But if you'd known you might have acted differently. Tipped David off. I almost got us killed. No. You saved your sister. You saved all of them. Marcus gestured to the women being led upstairs by female agents wrapped in blankets, getting medical attention. Without you pushing, being loud, refusing to stop, we never would have gotten to this point. Holloway thought you were just noise. Turned out you were the wake-up call we needed. Amara helped Blessing stand. Her sister could barely walk. 3 weeks of captivity, of abuse, of terror. But she was alive. She was free. Upstairs the house was chaos. Federal agents everywhere. Buyers in handcuffs protesting, demanding lawyers. David on the floor, Morrison reading him his rights. Elizabeth sitting on a couch, blank-faced, an agent beside her. Agent Collins approached Amara. We need statements from everyone. It's going to be a long night. What about ICE? There's a warrant for me. Cancelled. That was us. We needed you to stay underground, stay scared. Made you more unpredictable. Harder for Holloway to track. Collins looked apologetic. I know it was hell. But it worked. What happens to the women, the ones who were chained down there? They get T visas. Victim visas. They can stay in the US. We'll help them get counseling, housing, job training. It's not perfect, but it's something. Amara looked at Elizabeth. What about her? She's cooperating. giving us names of other families in the network. Other houses. She'll serve time but probably not much. We need her testimony. She helped him do this. I know. And she'll have to live with that. But right now she's helping us stop it from happening to others. Blessing leaned against Amara, shaking. Can we leave, please? I can't be in this house anymore. An agent drove them to a hotel. Safe. Clean. 2 beds and a bathroom door that locked from the inside. Blessing showered for an hour. Came out in a robe, sat on the bed, stared at nothing. You want to talk about it? Amara asked. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Is that okay? That's okay. They lay in the same bed like they did when they were kids, when their mother was still alive, when America was just a dream of something better. Blessing fell asleep first, fitful and twitching. Amara stayed awake, watching her breathe, making sure she was real. Her phone buzzed. A text from Maria. Thank you. For not giving up. For finding us. Then one from Chen Wei. I heard. All of them. You saved them all. Then Marcus. They found 4 more houses tonight. 23 women total. Because of you. Amara turned the phone off. Closed her eyes. And finally, after 3 weeks of hell, she slept. But before she did, she thought about the women who weren't saved. The ones like Chen Wei's daughter. The ones in unmarked graves. The ones still missing, still trapped, still waiting for someone to care enough to look. This was one battle won. The war wasn't over. Not even close. The hotel phone rang at 6 a.m. Amara answered, still half asleep. Miss Okafor, this is Agent Collins. We need you at the FBI office in an hour. Both you and your sister. Why, what happened? David Holloway posted bail 2 hours ago. Amara sat up. How is that possible? He was trafficking humans. You caught him in the act. His lawyers argued he was entrapped. That the FBI set up an elaborate sting without probable cause. Judge bought it. He's out on $10 million bail with an ankle monitor. So he's just free walking around for now. But Miss Okafor, there's something else. Someone posted bail for all the buyers too. Every single one. They're all out. Amara's blood went cold. Who has that kind of money? That's what we need to talk about. Get here as soon as you can. She woke Blessing. Her sister's eyes opened, panicked before focusing. It's okay. You're safe. We're in a hotel. I dreamed I was back there. You're not. You're never going back. Amara helped her sit up. But we need to go to the FBI. David posted bail. Blessing's face went white. He's out, he's free with an ankle monitor. He can't leave his house. Can't contact any of us. He violates that, he goes back to jail. He'll find a way. Men like him always find a way. They got dressed in clothes the FBI had provided. Everything Blessing owned was still at the Holloway house. Everything Amara owned was torn apart by the ICE raid that never happened. At the FBI office, Agent Collins and Detective Morrison waited in a conference room. Morrison looked like she hadn't slept. Thank you for coming. Collins opened a folder. David Holloway is the tip of an iceberg. We've known that for months. But we didn't realize how deep it went until last night. She spread photos across the table. Politicians, judges, police chiefs, all men, all wealthy, all at parties or dinners with David Holloway. These men are all part of it, Amara asked. We don't know yet. But someone with serious power intervened to get David out on bail. Someone convinced a federal judge to release a human trafficker caught in the act. That takes connections. Morrison spoke up. We think there's a network. Not just in Maryland. Across multiple states. David was middle management. Someone higher up is protecting him. Who? That's what we're trying to figure out. Collins looked at Blessing. Miss Okafor, I know this is hard. But we need you to tell us everything. Every detail about your time at the Holloway house. Everyone who visited. Everything you overheard. Blessing's hands shook. I can't talk about it. I understand. But without your testimony, she said she can't. Amara stood. You're not forcing her to relive that trauma for your case. The case falls apart without witness testimony. David's lawyers will claim the women came willingly. That they were paid employees who could leave anytime. That's insane. That's the legal system. We need proof of coercion. Of imprisonment. Of the sale itself. Blessing was there the longest. She saw the most. Blessing started crying. Silent tears running down her face. Amara put an arm around her. Give us time. Let her heal. Then we'll talk. We don't have time. The preliminary hearing is in 3 days. If we don't present a strong case, David walks. All of them walk. 3 days. Amara couldn't believe it. She was just rescued last night. I know. I'm sorry. But the justice system moves fast when defendants have money. David's lawyers are pushing for a quick hearing. They want this dismissed before we can build a solid case. Morrison leaned forward. There's something else. Something we didn't tell you last night because you needed to sleep. Elizabeth Holloway is missing. Amara's stomach dropped. Missing how she was supposed to be in protective custody. 2 agents were watching her. This morning she was gone. No sign of forced entry. She just left. Maybe she ran. Got scared. Or maybe someone got to her. Convinced her that testifying against David meant losing her daughter. Losing everything. Morrison pulled up security footage on a laptop. This is from her hotel at 3 a.m. The footage showed Elizabeth walking out of her room fully dressed, carrying a bag. Calm. Purposeful. Not running. Choosing. She knew exactly what she was doing, Collins said. Without Elizabeth's testimony, we lose half our case. She was the one recruiting women. She knows all the names. All the buyers. All the properties. You have the other women. The ones you rescued. Most are too scared to testify. They're undocumented, traumatized, terrified of deportation. Maria Santos said she'll testify, but her English isn't strong enough. The defense will tear her apart on cross-examination. Amara looked at Blessing. Her sister stared at the table, tears falling silently. I'll testify, Amara heard herself say. I broke into the warehouse. I saw the women being held. I have the photos Chen Wei took. I received the threatening calls and texts. I can prove they were trying to silence me. That helps. But it's circumstantial. We need someone who was actually sold. Actually imprisoned. Actually lived it. Collins looked at Blessing. I'm not trying to pressure you. I'm just being honest about what we're up against. Blessing stood abruptly. I need air. She walked out. Amara followed her into the hallway. Blessing leaned against the wall, breathing hard. I can't do it. I can't sit in a courtroom and talk about what they did to me. What David did. What his friends did. She looked at Amara. Do you know what it's like being sold, having men look at you like your furniture, bidding on you like your cattle number? I don't know. And I would never ask you to relive that if there was another way. There is another way. Let him go. Let them all go. I just want to forget. You won't forget. And letting him go means he does it to someone else. To 20 someone else's. To 100. That's not my responsibility. I know it's not fair. You're the victim and now they're asking you to save everyone else. It's wrong. It's cruel. Amara took her hands. But you're also the only one who can stop this. You're the only one with the power to make sure David Holloway never hurts another woman again. Blessing pulled away. I need time. I need to think. We have 3 days. That's not enough time. I know. They went back to the hotel. Blessing slept or pretended to sleep. Amara sat by the window watching the street, waiting for threats that didn't come. Her phone rang. Marcus. Are you okay? I heard about the bail. We're alive. That's about all I can say. There's a community meeting tonight. Families of the women you found. They want to thank you. I don't need thanks. They need to give it. These people have been searching for years. Some of them never thought they'd see their daughters again. Because of you they did. Come tonight. Bring Blessing. Let her see she's not alone. The meeting was at St. Michael's. The same basement where Amara first met Marcus. But now it was packed. 40, maybe 50 people. Families holding photos of their loved ones. Crying. Hugging. Maria Santos saw Amara and ran to her. You came. I didn't think you would. Marcus said you wanted to talk. I wanted to say thank you. For not stopping. For being crazy enough to break into that house. Maria gestured to an older woman. This is my mother. She flew in from Colombia. I haven't seen her in 4 years. Maria's mother grabbed Amara, speaking rapid Spanish through tears. Amara didn't understand the words but understood the meaning. Thank you. Thank you for bringing my daughter back. More families approached. Adesa's sister. Rosa's aunt. One by one they thanked her. Showed her photos. Told her stories of the women who'd been missing, now found. Then an older black woman approached. 60s gray hair, eyes that had cried too much. Miss Okafor, my name is Grace Wellington. Marcus's mother. Amara looked around for Marcus. He stood in the corner watching. 10 years ago my granddaughter Lily was taken. She worked as a nanny. One day she disappeared. Marcus has been searching ever since. He gave up everything to find her. His marriage. His career. Everything. Grace's voice broke. They found her body 2 years ago. Rock Creek Park. She'd been dead for months. I'm so sorry. Don't be sorry. Be proud. Because what you did finding these women, it's what Marcus has been trying to do for a decade. You succeeded where he failed. You brought these families their daughters back alive. Grace hugged her. Lily can finally rest now, knowing that other girls were saved. That the man who took her is finally going to pay. Amara realized Grace thought David had taken Lily too. Maybe he had. Maybe there were dozens more victims they didn't know about yet. Blessing sat alone in a corner. A young woman approached her. Early 20s, Hispanic, nervous. You're Blessing, the one who was at the Potomac house? Yes. I was there too. 3 months ago. Before they moved me to a different house. The girl sat down. My name is Carmen. I'm testifying at the hearing. You are? Yes. I'm terrified. But I'm doing it. Carmen's hands twisted in her lap. They told me I was nothing. That no one would believe me. That if I talked they'd deport my family. For 3 months I believed them. Then the FBI found me. Gave me a T visa. Said I could stay. That I was safe now. Are you safe? I don't know. David's out on bail. So are all the buyers. So maybe I'm not safe. Maybe none of us are. Carmen looked at Blessing. But I'm testifying anyway. Because staying silent didn't keep me safe. It just kept me invisible. Blessing didn't respond. Carmen stood to leave, then turned back. They're going to ask you to testify too. Aren't they? Yes. Are you going to do it? I don't know. That's okay. It took me 2 weeks to decide. 2 weeks of not sleeping, not eating, being terrified every second. But then I realized something. They already took 3 months of my life. If I don't testify, they take the rest of it too. They win. And I'm done letting them win. Carmen walked away. Blessing sat there, something shifting in her eyes. Later, back at the hotel, Blessing spoke for the first time in hours. Tell me about the trial. What would I have to say? Everything. Where they held you. What David did. What the buyers said during the auction. Will David be there in the courtroom? Yes. His lawyers will cross-examine you. Try to discredit you. Say you're lying or exaggerating. Will you be there every second? Right behind you. Blessing stared at the ceiling. I keep thinking about Carmen. About how she said staying silent didn't keep her safe. It just kept her invisible. You don't have to be like Carmen. You don't have to be strong or brave or anything you're not ready for. But I want to be. I want to be the kind of person who fights back. Who doesn't let them win. Blessing looked at Amara. I'm going to testify. Are you sure? Number. I'm terrified. But I'm doing it anyway. The next morning they met with the prosecution team. Assistant U.S. Attorney Jennifer Park walked them through what to expect. The defense will try to paint you as willing participants. They'll say you came to America seeking work, that you knew what you were signing up for, that you could have left anytime. That's not true, Blessing said. They took my passport. Threatened to call immigration. Beat me when I tried to escape. I know. But their job is to create reasonable doubt. They only need one juror to believe their story. Park looked at her notes. They'll also attack your credibility. Bring up any criminal record, any lies, any inconsistencies in your story. I don't have a criminal record. Good. But they'll still try. They'll ask invasive questions. About your life in Nigeria. About why you came to America. About your relationship with Amara. They'll try to make you emotional, make you angry, make you seem unstable. How'd I stop them? You tell the truth. Calmly. Clearly. And you don't let them rattle you. Over the next 2 days they practiced. Park grilled Blessing with the kind of questions the defense would ask. Harsh questions. Victim-blaming questions. Questions that made Amara want to punch someone. Why didn't you call the police? They took my phone. There are neighbors. Other houses. You could have screamed for help. I did scream. No one came. Or they heard and didn't care. You could have run when they took you to the Potomac house. Why didn't you? I was drugged. And there were guards. And I was terrified. Terrified of what Mr. Holloway is, a respected businessman. Why would you be terrified of him? Blessing's composure cracked. Because he raped me. Is that what you want me to say? He came to my room. I said no. He did it anyway. Then he had his men drug me and lock me in a basement for 3 weeks. Park's expression didn't change. That's exactly what you need to say. Just like that. The jury needs to hear it. The night before the hearing, Amara couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about all the ways this could go wrong. David's lawyers getting the case dismissed. Blessing breaking down on the stand. The judge being corrupt like so many others. Her phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. Just a photo. Sophia Holloway. David's 6-year-old daughter. Playing in a park. Below the photo, testify and she's next. Amara's hands shook. They were threatening a child. David's own daughter. She showed Blessing. They're trying to scare us. Make us think they'll hurt that little girl if we don't back down. What if they're not bluffing? Then we tell the FBI. They protect Sophia. But even as she said it, Amara wondered. If the network was powerful enough to get David out on bail, powerful enough to make Elizabeth disappear, what else were they capable of? She called Agent Collins. Got voicemail. Called Morrison. Same thing. It was midnight. Everyone was asleep. Another text came through. Tell the FBI and the girl dies. We're watching. We know everything. Amara deleted the texts. Turned off her phone. Looked at Blessing. What are we going to do? Blessing asked. We're going to testify. And we're going to pray that the FBI is watching closer than they are. But Amara didn't sleep. She sat by the window watching shadows, seeing threats everywhere. This wasn't over. Even if David went to prison, even if they convicted everyone, the network was still out there. Still powerful. Still dangerous. At dawn her phone rang. Agent Collins. We found Elizabeth. Where? She's dead. Her body was found in Rock Creek Park an hour ago. Same location where Lily Wellington's body was found 2 years ago. Amara's blood went cold. How did she die? It's been staged to look like suicide. But we don't think it was. We think someone in the network killed her. Sent a message to anyone else thinking about testifying. The hearing is today. What do we do? You go forward. You testify. And you trust that we can keep you safe. Can you really keep us safe from people who can kill someone in protective custody? Collins didn't answer right away. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. These people have resources we're still discovering. But I do know this. If you don't testify, Elizabeth died for nothing. And David walks free to do this to more women. Amara hung up. Told Blessing about Elizabeth. She was going to testify against them, Blessing said quietly. She was going to tell everything. So they killed her. Yes. We're next, aren't we? If we testify today, we're next. Maybe. Probably. I don't know. Amara sat beside her sister. But I'm testifying anyway. Because Elizabeth was right about one thing. Staying silent didn't keep her safe. It just kept her complicit. And I won't be complicit. Not anymore. Then I'm testifying too. Blessing, you don't have to. Yes, I do. For Carmen. For Maria. For all the women still trapped somewhere waiting for someone to be brave enough to speak up. Blessing stood, squared her shoulders. They think they can scare us into silence. Let's show them they're wrong. 4 hours later they stood outside the federal courthouse. Media everywhere. Cameras. Reporters shouting questions. Marcus appeared, created a path through the crowd. Inside security was tight. Metal detectors. Armed marshals. The FBI wasn't taking chances. The courtroom was packed. David sat at the defense table in an expensive suit, looking calm. His lawyers flanked him, 3 of them all men in their 50s who'd probably never lost a case. The prosecution table looked sparse by comparison. Just Park and 1 assistant. The judge entered. Judge Patricia Martinez, mid-40s, stern expression. She looked at the defense table, then the prosecution, then the gallery filled with families. This is a preliminary hearing to determine if there's probable cause to proceed to trial. Mr. Holloway is charged with multiple counts of human trafficking, forced labor, and conspiracy. The burden is on the prosecution to present sufficient evidence. We'll begin with opening statements. Park stood. Your Honor, the evidence will show that David Holloway operated a human trafficking network that enslaved dozens of women over multiple years. The defendant used his wealth and connections to prey on vulnerable immigrants, forcing them into servitude and selling them to wealthy buyers. We have witness testimony, physical evidence, and FBI surveillance that proves beyond any doubt that these crimes occurred. David's lead attorney Richard Brennan stood. Silver hair, confident smile. Your Honor, what the prosecution calls trafficking was actually a series of misunderstandings and bitter employees seeking revenge. Mr. Holloway runs a legitimate business. He employed these women legally. Some quit without notice. Some had personal issues. But trafficking, forced labor, these are serious accusations without serious proof. We'll show that the FBI conducted an illegal entrapment operation that violated my client's rights. We'll show that the so-called victims are lying for T visas. And we'll show that David Holloway is innocent. The testimony began. Agent Collins went first, detailing the investigation. Then Morrison explaining the undercover operation. Then the technical evidence. Photos, videos, audio recordings from the auction. Then it was time for the victims. Carmen went first. She was shaking, but her voice stayed steady. She told her story. How she was recruited. How they took her documents. How they moved her between houses, forced her to work without pay, threatened her family. Brennan's cross-examination was brutal. He questioned every detail. Suggested she'd come to America illegally knowing what she was doing. Implied she was lying to avoid deportation. Carmen held firm. I'm not lying. Everything I said is true. But you admit you entered the country illegally, yes. But that doesn't mean I deserve to be enslaved. No one enslaved you, Miss Rodriguez. You were employed. You quit when you found better options. I was locked in a room. I was sold to a man. That's not employment. The judge intervened. Mr. Brennan, move on. Maria testified next. Then a daze. Then two of the other women from the basement. Each told similar stories. Each withstood Brennan's attacks. Then Park called blessing. Amara watched her sister walk to the witness stand. Watched her place her hand on the Bible. Watched her swear to tell the truth. Park's questions were gentle. Miss Okafor, how did you come to work for the Holloways? They hired me as a nanny for their daughter Sophia. I worked there for almost 2 years. Were you happy in that position at first? Yes. Sophia was wonderful. Mrs. Holloway seemed kind. I thought I had found a safe place. What changed? Blessing's voice steadied. Mr. Holloway came to my room one night. He said he wanted to discuss my immigration status. I thought he was going to help me get my green card. Instead, he tried to force himself on me. What did you do? I fought him off. Told him I would call the police. Report him. What happened? Then he left. I thought that was the end of it. But the next morning 2 men came to my room. They drugged me. When I woke up I was in a warehouse chained to a pipe. Park let that hang in the air. How long were you held? 3 weeks. They moved me to different locations. The warehouse. A house in Potomac. They told me I was being sold. That I was merchandise. Blessing looked directly at David. Mr. Holloway came to the Potomac house the day before the FBI raid. He told me I should have cooperated. That this was my fault. That I was nothing. The courtroom was silent. Then Brennan stood for cross-examination. And Amara knew the real fight was about to begin. Brennan approached the witness stand like a predator. Miss Okafor, you testified that you worked for the Holloways for 2 years. During that time were you paid? Yes. Did you have days off sometimes? Did you leave the house on those days off, go to stores, see friends, move freely? Yes, but yes or no please. You could leave the house whenever you wanted during the first year? Yes. But after Mr. Holloway attacked me, allegedly attacked you. We only have your word for that, don't we? Park stood. Objection. Argumentative. Sustained. Mr. Brennan, ask questions, don't make speeches. Brennan didn't miss a beat. Miss Okafor, did anyone else witness this alleged attack? Number. He came to my room when everyone was asleep. How convenient. So we're supposed to believe that a respected businessman, a father, a philanthropist, suddenly decided to assault his employee? Yes. Because that's what happened. Or did you develop feelings for Mr. Holloway, perhaps make advances that he rejected, and now you're angry? Blessing's face went red. No, that's disgusting. He raped me. You used the word rape. But you also testified you fought him off. So which is it, did he rape you or did you stop him? I stopped him that time. But in the warehouse after they drugged me, her voice broke. After you claim they drugged you. Do you have medical records, a talk screen, any physical evidence of these drugs? Number. The FBI didn't rescue me until 3 weeks later. 3 weeks. Plenty of time for drugs to leave your system. Convenient again. Brennan paced. Miss Okafor, isn't it true that you overstayed your visa? My visa was valid. But you were looking for a way to stay permanently. A green card, perhaps? Yes. Mrs. Holloway said she might sponsor me. And when that fell through, you became angry. Vindictive. You made up these accusations to get revenge and secure a T visa. Isn't that the truth? No, I was kidnapped. Held prisoner. Sold like property. You keep saying that. But where's the proof? You admitted you could leave the house during the first 2 years. You were paid. You had freedom. That doesn't sound like imprisonment to me. Blessing looked at Amara. Her sister mouthed breathe. Blessing turned back to Brennan. After Mr. Holloway attacked me, everything changed. They took my passport. My phone. They told me if I ran they'd call immigration. They threatened to hurt my sister. Then they drugged me and locked me up. They. Who's they? Can you name these mysterious people, the men who worked for Mr. Holloway? Security guards. I don't know their names. How convenient. Nameless, faceless villains. Very dramatic, Miss Okafor. Almost like a movie script. Brennan leaned on the witness stand. Tell me, how much is the prosecution paying you to testify? They're not paying me anything. But you are getting a T visa. Legal status. The ability to stay in America. That's valuable, isn't it? Objection. Park was on her feet. Counsel is implying the witness is lying for immigration benefits. That's insulting and irrelevant. It's absolutely relevant, Your Honor. It goes to credibility and motive. Judge Martinez looked at Blessing. The witness will answer. Blessing's hands gripped the armrests. Yes, I'm getting a T visa. Because I was trafficked. That's what T visas are for. Victims. Or liars who know how to game the system. I'm not lying. Blessing's voice cracked. Everything I said is true. David Holloway is a monster. He hurt me. He sold me. And you're trying to make it seem like I wanted it, like I asked for it, like it's my fault. The courtroom went silent. Blessing was crying now, openly unable to stop. Brennan stepped back looking satisfied. He'd broken her. Made her emotional. Made her seem unstable. No further questions. Park approached for redirect. Miss Okafor, let me ask you something simple. Do you want to be here right now? Number. Would you rather forget everything that happened and never talk about it again? Yes. Then why are you testifying? Blessing wiped her face. Because if I don't, he'll do it to someone else. To 20 someone else's. And I can't live with that. Park nodded. Thank you. Nothing further. The judge called a recess. Amara met Blessing in the hallway. Her sister collapsed against her. I messed up. I got emotional. I let him rattle me. You told the truth. That's all that matters. The truth doesn't matter if the judge doesn't believe me. Agent Collins approached. You did great in there. Brennan's trying to discredit you, but the judge isn't buying it. How do you know body language? She's taking notes during your testimony. Not during his questions. That's a good sign. Collins checked her phone. We have a problem though. The defense just called a surprise witness. Who? Someone who claims to have information that exonerates David. Judge Martinez is allowing it. They went back inside. Brennan stood. The defense calls Thomas Chen. Chen Wei's husband walked to the stand. Amara's stomach dropped. Thomas Chen worked at one of Holloway's warehouses. He'd seen things. Knew things. And now he was testifying for the defense. Mr. Chen, you work for Holloway Logistics, correct? Yes. For 7 years. In that time, have you ever witnessed Mr. Holloway engage in illegal activity? Number. Never. Have you seen women being held against their will at any of the company facilities? Number. But women do come and go from the warehouses, don't they? Yes. We hire temporary workers. Cleaners mostly. They come for a few months then leave. Do these women seem distressed, frightened, like they're being forced to work? Number. They seem normal. Happy to have jobs. Brennan showed photos. Mr. Chen, do you recognize these women? The photos were of Maria Aday's, Blessing, and the others. Thomas Chen studied them. Yes. I've seen them at the warehouse. They were cleaners. Did they seem like prisoners to you? Number. They seemed like employees. Thank you, Mr. Chen. Park stood for cross. Mr. Chen, you testified that you work for Mr. Holloway. You've worked for him for 7 years. He pays your salary, correct? Yes. And if you testified against him, you'd lose that job, I suppose. More than suppose. You'd lose your income, your health insurance, your ability to provide for your family. Isn't that true? Thomas Chen shifted. Yes. So you have a vested interest in Mr. Holloway being found innocent. I'm telling the truth. Are you, or are you telling the version of truth that keeps you employed? Park pulled out documents. Mr. Chen, 3 years ago your daughter Lily went missing. You filed a police report. Do you remember that? His face went pale. Yes. And 2 years ago her body was found. Rock Creek Park. Same location where Elizabeth Holloway's body was just found. Do you remember that? Objection. Brennan was on his feet. This is irrelevant and inflammatory. It's absolutely relevant, Your Honor. It goes to witness credibility and possible coercion. Judge Martinez looked at Park. Where are you going with this, counselor? I'm establishing that Mr. Chen has personal reasons to fear Mr. Holloway. That his testimony might not be voluntary. Proceed. But carefully. Park turned back to Thomas Chen. Your daughter worked as a nanny. For a wealthy family. And then she disappeared. Do you know which family? He didn't answer. Mr. Chen, I'll ask again. Which family employed your daughter before she disappeared? His voice was barely audible. I don't remember. You don't remember your daughter died, and you don't remember who she worked for. It was 3 years ago. Mr. Chen, we have employment records. Your daughter Lily worked for David and Elizabeth Holloway. She was their nanny before Blessing Okafor. She disappeared from their home. And 2 years later she was found dead. Park let that sink in. And now you're testifying that Mr. Holloway is innocent, that women aren't being hurt in his facilities. Thomas Chen started crying. I don't know. I don't know anything. I just work there. Or you know exactly what happened to your daughter and you're too afraid to say it. Objection withdrawn. Park sat down. No further questions. The damage was done. The jury had seen Thomas Chen break down. Had heard about his daughter. Had connected the dots. Brennan tried to recover. Mr. Chen, did you ever see Mr. Holloway hurt your daughter? Number. Did you ever see him commit any crime? Number. Thank you. But it was too late. The connection was made. Judge Martinez called another recess. In the hallway Marcus found Amara. Thomas Chen is terrified. His wife told me. David's people threatened him. Told him to testify or his grandson would disappear like his daughter did. So he's a victim too. Everyone's a victim when you're dealing with people this powerful. Agent Collins approached phone to her ear. She hung up, face grim. We just got word. 3 jurors received threats this morning. Photos of their children. Messages telling them to vote not guilty. Can't you do something? Arrest whoever sent them. The messages came from untraceable numbers. Burner phones. By the time we track them down, the trial will be over. Collins looked at Judge Martinez's chambers. We need to tell the judge. This could mean a mistrial. If there's a mistrial, David walks free until a new trial. That could take months. Years. I know. But we don't have a choice. Park told the judge about the threats. Martinez's face hardened. She called both lawyers to chambers. 30 minutes later they emerged. Martinez addressed the courtroom. I've been informed that several jurors received threatening communications. This is unacceptable. However, rather than declare a mistrial, I'm going to sequester the jury. They'll be isolated, protected, unable to receive any outside contact. We'll proceed to closing arguments tomorrow morning. Brennan objected. Your Honor, my client's right to a fair trial. Your client's associates are threatening jurors. Don't talk to me about fair trials. Martinez's voice was ice. We resume at 9 a.m. Court adjourned. That night Amara and Blessing sat in their hotel room under FBI protection. 2 agents outside their door. Another in the parking lot. But Amara didn't feel safe. What if they get in anyway? Blessing asked. What if we testify tomorrow and they kill us right after, then we die knowing we fought back? That's not comforting. It's not supposed to be comforting. It's supposed to be true. Amara looked at her sister. I've been thinking about what you said. About how they made you feel like nothing. Like you didn't exist. I don't want to talk about it. I know. But I need to say this. You do exist. You matter. And tomorrow when you walk out of that courtroom, the whole world is going to know your name. Know your story. You won't be invisible anymore. Blessing wiped her eyes. I'm scared. Me too. They fell asleep holding hands like they used to when they were children in Nigeria, when the world was simpler and America was just a dream. The next morning closing arguments began. Park went first. Ladies and gentlemen, over the past 2 days you've heard testimony from multiple women who were trafficked, imprisoned and sold by David Holloway. You've seen photos, videos, recorded conversations. You've heard FBI agents testify about what they witnessed. This isn't a he said she said situation. This is overwhelming evidence of systematic human trafficking. She walked to the defense table, looked at David. The defense wants you to believe these women are lying. That they're making this up for visas. But ask yourselves, why would someone put themselves through this? Why would Carmen Rodriguez, Maria Santos, Adaze Nwosu and Blessing Okafor subject themselves to brutal cross-examination, to having their lives torn apart, to death threats just for a visa? The answer is simple. They wouldn't. Unless every word they said was true. Park turned back to the jury. David Holloway used his wealth, his power and his connections to enslave women. He thought he was untouchable. That immigrant women were invisible. That no one would notice if they disappeared. He was wrong. We noticed. We investigated. We stopped him. Now it's your job to make sure he never does this again. Brennan's closing was predictable. Reasonable doubt. Unreliable witnesses. Overzealous prosecution. He painted David as a businessman targeted by vindictive employees and an FBI looking for a big case. Ask yourselves, where's the physical evidence? Where are the documents, the financial records showing these sales? All you have are stories. And stories, no matter how emotional, are not evidence. The jury deliberated for 6 hours. 6 hours of Amara pacing the hallway, unable to eat, unable to breathe. Blessing sat motionless, staring at nothing. Finally the jury sent word. They'd reached a verdict. Everyone filed back into the courtroom. The jury foreman stood. Judge Martinez asked the question. On the count of human trafficking, how do you find guilty? The courtroom erupted. Blessing grabbed Amara, both of them crying. Behind them Maria and Carmen were hugging. Families were cheering. On the count of forced labor, how do you find guilty? On the count of conspiracy, how do you find guilty? David Holloway's face went white. His lawyers were already filing objections, calling for appeals. But it didn't matter. He was guilty. The jury had spoken. Judge Martinez banged her gavel. Mr. Holloway, you've been found guilty on all counts. Sentencing will be held in 30 days. Until then, you're remanded to federal custody. Bail is revoked. Marshals put David in handcuffs. As they led him past Amara, he looked at her. Not angry. Not defeated. Just calculating. Like this was a temporary setback. Like he had other plans. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. Amara gave a brief statement. My sister Blessing disappeared 3 weeks ago. The police told me to go home and wait. They told me she didn't matter. They were wrong. She matters. All these women matter. And today justice proved it. The cameras loved it. By evening the story was everywhere. National news. International news. The invisible women were invisible no more. But the victory felt hollow. Because that night Agent Collins called with news. We arrested 8 buyers from the auction. But we haven't found the others. And David isn't talking. He's protecting someone higher up. Who we don't know. But someone with serious power intervened to get him bail the first time. Someone who's still out there. Collins paused. This isn't over, Amara. David was middle management. The network is bigger than we thought. 3 weeks later at David's sentencing, Judge Martinez looked at him with disgust. Mr. Holloway, you preyed on vulnerable women. You treated human beings as property. You showed no remorse, no humanity, no conscience. The court sentences you to 25 years in federal prison. No possibility of parole. David was led away. His lawyers immediately filed appeals. But he'd be in prison for years, maybe decades, while those appeals worked through the system. Amara and Blessing walked out of the courthouse for the last time. Marcus was waiting. It's done, he said. He's going away. For now, Amara replied. But the network is still out there. Then we keep fighting. We find them. We expose them. We don't stop. 6 months later, Blessing started law school. She wanted to be an immigration attorney. Wanted to help other women like her navigate the system, fight for their rights, stay safe. Amara quit 2 of her 3 jobs. Started working with Marcus's organization full-time. They'd found 12 more women since David's arrest. Rescued them from other houses, other networks. The fight continued. Maria Santos opened a support group for trafficking survivors. Carmen Rodriguez was working on a book. Adaze was speaking at colleges, telling her story, warning young women about the dangers. Chen Wei finally came forward. Testified in a different case against another trafficking network. Her husband Thomas was getting therapy, finally dealing with the guilt of his daughter's death. And Detective Morrison, she led a new federal task force. 20 agents dedicated to finding missing immigrant women. They'd opened investigations in 6 states. The network was still out there. Still powerful. Still dangerous. But it wasn't invisible anymore. People were watching. People were fighting back. 1 year after Blessing's rescue, Amara stood at a podium in front of Congress, testifying about the need for immigration reform, for protections for domestic workers, for laws that actually punished traffickers. A senator asked her, "Miss Okafor, what do you want people to understand about this issue?" Amara thought about all the women. The ones she saved. The ones she couldn't. The ones still trapped somewhere waiting. I want people to understand that these women exist. They're not invisible. They're not disposable. They're sisters and daughters and mothers. They're human beings who came to America looking for safety and found hell instead. And if we don't see them, if we don't protect them, if we don't fight for them, then we're all complicit in their suffering. She looked directly at the camera broadcasting the hearing. My sister disappeared in a village in America. And nobody asked questions. Until I did. Until I made them look. Until I made them see. That's what needs to change. We all need to look. We all need to see. We all need to ask questions when someone disappears. Because everyone deserves to matter. Everyone deserves to be seen. The hearing room was silent. Then someone started clapping. Then another. Then everyone. Blessing was in the front row, tears streaming down her face. She mouthed 2 words. Thank you. That night Amara got a text from an unknown number. Just 3 words that made her blood run cold. We're still watching. She showed it to Agent Collins. They traced the number. It led nowhere. The network was still out there. Still threatening. Still dangerous. But so was Amara. So was Blessing. So were all the women who refused to stay silent, stay invisible, stay forgotten. David Holloway thought he could make women disappear. Thought he could erase them. Thought the world wouldn't notice or care. He learned the hard way that some women refuse to disappear. Some women fight back. Some women burn down the whole world just to bring their sisters home. And those women change everything. Amara looked at that text one more time. Then deleted it. Because she wasn't afraid anymore. Fear was for people who had something to lose. And Amara had already lost everything that mattered and found it again. She'd found her sister. Found her voice. Found her power. And she wasn't going anywhere. The invisible women of America were invisible no more. And the people who tried to erase them, their time was running out. Because Amara Okafor was watching now. And she saw everything.